Morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. Good to see you back. And what I've got today for you, I'm going to change the oil on the Vet. And I know you're thinking, Froggy, you already showed me how to change the oil on the Corvette. But I want to talk a little bit with you about picking the oil that you put in the car. This is my C5 Z06. It sees street driving, autocross, and track. So I want to make sure I have a good oil in it. And what I came up with today is an oil I haven't used before. It's called Pennzoil Platinum. They also have another Pennzoil called Ultra. They're both full synthetic. This one was on sale at Pep Boys. It's usually about $9.50 a quart, and I think I got it for about, well, it was $8.99 their regular price, and I got it for $5.76. And they also throw in a filter. Usually I like the original equipment filters. I think those or Wicks are the best filters. So I'm going to use an AC Delco this time. But I wanted to tell you about the specifications for the oil. Not the weight. The weight is 1030. That's what I like for my part of the country. If you live where it's cold, you might put 530 in there. But on the back of the back label on the oil, let me do a close-up on this. On the back label, come on camera, focus for me. It says, this is really not focusing. Hold on. Well, I'm going to have to read this for you. I'm not sure what's wrong with the camera, but it doesn't seem to be focusing very well. On the back label it says, exceeds the requirements of the following industry specifications. Now, API-SN is the latest specification. This is 2013. And that's a general specification and all previous categories. Now, I always look for something that says exceeds or meets GM. It says GM, and Frog is having a little trouble reading it too. 6094M, like Mary, and GM 4718M. And what that means is General Motors will warranty your car if you use this oil and something breaks in the motor. It's an extra, how can I put this? It's an assurance that you're using a very high quality oil. Not all oil will submit the oil to GM or Chrysler or Ford for testing. This means Pennzoil has done that. GM has tested it, and they said this is as good as the GM oil, which I think is Dexos now. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about that. If you've got a car that's a high performance car, like a Corvette, or this one actually, the Pennzoil Ultra is what Ferrari uses for their original fill on their cars in North America for their imported cars. So this is very good oil. Anyway, it's especially good at keeping the engine clean. That's one of the things that of course it's got detergents in it, but it's got a good package of detergents in it. So let's get on with it. Enough talking about the specifications. Let's put it in the car. Okay, let's get on with it. Last time I think I put the front on some ramps and then I jacked up the back. This time I've got two floor jacks under the front and a single floor jack under the back. So it's just a different way of putting the car up. Either way is fine. The important thing is to give it a little bit of a tilt towards the front, a little tilt down towards the front. there, like that, so that the oil drains. The oil drains from a plug in the very front of the pan. So if you get it tilted with the rear end of the car down, you're not going to get all the oil out. Okay, 13 millimeter wrench will get the drain plug out. Okay, I got the plug off, I got the old oil filter off, it's right here. The manager at Pep Boys told me they're going to have some kind of recycling deal in about a week or 10 days, and you bring in a used filter, any brand of used filter, and you can pick out any brand of brand new filter in the store. So I'm going to hang on to this and get another one in about a week, whenever that program starts. Now I'm going to let it drip for maybe 10 minutes. I don't let it drip for that long, but as long as there's a little bit coming out. When it's still a stream of oil, I let it go. When it becomes a drip of oil, then I figure I've got enough out of there. We'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, drain plug's back on. Make sure that the drain plug has a rubber gasket that's sort of embedded into it. I don't know exactly how it's attached, but make sure that rubber gasket's there. And on the filter, make sure you've got one single gasket on there. You didn't put a double gasket. Make sure one came off and one went back on. Honestly, I have never had a problem with that. I think back decades ago there used to be a problem with that little rubber gasket falling off, but these days the oil filters are pretty good. So I'm going to start putting some oil back in now. I like 7 quarts. That gives me about a half a quart overfill, which is what I like to run. But I'll put 6 in and then I'll check it with a stick. Make sure everything's clear underneath and start the car up. You're checking for 2 things here. I'm checking for oil pressure, which I've got 44. It doesn't come up instantly. It takes a little bit of time since the oil filter is empty. You can also pre-fill the oil filter if you want to. Honestly, I don't really go to the trouble, but some people do. It doesn't hurt anything. Let's look underneath for any leaks. I never have had any, but it's always the first time, as they say. There's my filter there, and just beyond that you can't really see it. It's the drain plug. All looks good. Listen to the engine, see how it sounds. Sounds nice. I'm going to shut it off now and let it sit for a minute or so, and then I'm going to check my oil level. You're going to have to take my word for it, because it won't show up on the camera with brand new oil. But it's brought it, 6 quarts brought it to the bottom mark. So I'm going to put in another half a quart. And the reason only a half a quart is because I do have it on an angle. And I'm going to, a half a quart should put it in the middle of the hash marks, or the middle of the two holes in the dipstick. And then I'll check it after I drive it and pull it in while it's sitting on the ground. And if it needs the other half a quart, then I'll put that in. So that's about it. Trying to think what else I could tell you about this oil change. Okay, just to wrap it up then, I would say that the main point of this is to use an oil, no matter what oil. I think I'm going to like this Pennzoil, but it could be Castrol, it could be Valvoline, it could be, Dexos, of course, is the new GM oil, but it has to say meets or exceeds the GM spec with a GM spec number. If it doesn't say that, I wouldn't put it in my Corvette. Okay? So thanks for watching, guys and gals. This helps you, give me a thumbs up or like, and if you want more from Froggy, as always, subscribe to my channel. I'll keep putting it up there. I would love doing this for you guys and gals. See you later. Bye-bye.